talked about the three births of Jaya and Vijaya, the Asuras. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, Dantavakra. And while discussing that, Hiranyaksha tortured his son, who though he was obedient, and he was tried to kill his son. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked the question: how come a father can dare try to kill such a wonderful divine qualities, a son with wonderful divine qualities? So even he was not antagonist, he was respectable to his father, still he wanted to kill. Why? For that, in order to understand why Hiranyakashipu was trying to kill Prahlad, the reason was Prahlad was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Then so what? Then the hatred between Hiranyakashipu and Lord Vishnu is explained in the second chapter. Basically, Lord Vishnu, who is the maintainer of the entire universe, who is the Paramatma, supposed to be neutral to everyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosi na priyaha. But that Vishnu, because he is neutral, is glorified as Paramatma, is worshipped, is considered to be the best among all devatas. But that Vishnu now took the side of the devatas, because devatas are worshipping him. Just for some worship, he accepted the side of devatas. He lost his position. Now he can be killed. But anyway, both the devatas and Vishnu are nourished by the performance of yajnas, the Vedic rituals and Vedic activity that are happening in the earth. So Hiranyakashipu was telling his army, his Sena, his soldiers that please go wherever there are cows, the Brahmana study of the Vedas and activities of Varnashma, burn the cities and cut down the trees, destroy all of them, arrest the devatas, like that, like that, like that. Wherever anything connected to Vedic culture is going on, destroy it, kill the people, and arrest others. No Vedic activity should go on. When there is no Vedic activity goes on, the devatas become weak and they will be defeated, they can be killed. When the Vedic activities and devatas both become weak, Lord Vishnu becomes weak. At that time, he can be very easily killed. So this 50% of his plan is that to make Vishnu weak by destroying the Vedic culture and Vedic followers and devatas. Other 50% is to make himself powerful. Hiranyakashipu will say that I'll go and perform tapasya, I'll get strength so that I can kill Vishnu easily. So 50-50 is planning. So that was his plan. So he already instructed his soldiers to go and destroy all the places where people are practicing Brahmanical culture, taking care of the cows, agriculture, all these things. Destroy everything. Anything connected to Vedic, destroy. That was the instruction of Hiranyakashipu. And following the instruction of Hiranyakashipu, some of his soldiers started creating havoc all over the world. Wherever these Vedic rituals or Vedic religious activities are going on, they are getting burnt off and destroyed. So let us see. In the next 3-4 verses, the discussion comes. Iti te bratru nirdesham.
Iti the bhratra nirdesham.
Hare Krishna, someone can repeat.
Iti the bhratra nirdesham.
Adaya shirasadrita.
Adaya shirasadritaha.
Tata prajanam kadanam.
Tatha prajanam kadanam.
Vidadhu kadana priya.
Vidadhu kadana priyaha. Thus the demons, being fond of disastrous activities, took Hiranyakashipu's instructions on their heads, and with great respect and offered him obeisances. According to his directions, they engaged in envious activities directed against all living beings.
The asuras by nature evil. They want to create evil to others. And now all the more their master has given them full permission with full powers. So how can they stay quiet? They immediately with double force they started prosecuting the common people. Thus the demons being fond of evil took Hiranyakashipu's instructions on their heads with great respect and began prosecuting the citizens. Without order only they can do so much, and with order they can't stay. They can't stay quiet. They began to destroy the villages, brahmanas, cows, yagnas, yagnashalas, like that so much. Puragrama vrajodaya vrajodhyana.
पुरग्रामाव पुरग्रामाव्रजोदयान
क्षेत्रारामाश्रमाकरान्
क्षेत्रारामाश्रमाकरान्
खेटकरवटघोषांश्च
एतकरवटगोष्ठां च
दददुः पट्टनानि च
दददुः पट्टनानि च. Translation. The demons set fire to the cities, villages, pasturing grounds, cow pens, gardens, agriculture fields, and natural forests. They burned the hermitage of the saintly persons, the important mines that produced valuable metals, the residential quarters of agriculturists, the mountains, village, and the villages of cows protector, the cowherd man. They also burned the government capitals. Hare Krishna.
The demons set fire to the cities and villages. Pura means cities. Grama is villages. Vraja means pasturing grounds. Udyana is flower gardens. Kshetra is agricultural fields. Arama is orchards. Ashrama, Akaran. Ashrama is hermitages. Akaran is mines. Kheta, farmhouses. Karavata, the mountains. Gosha, the villages. Hmm? And Gosha means, okay, Karavata, the villages. Gosha means the villages of the cowherds and the government capitals. Goshamscha. Cha is there, na? Cha includes all the other things. So, Patnani. Patnani, the government capitals. So all these places are set onto the fire. The who they began to put fire. Fire means what? The agriculture fields are burnt to ashes. The living spaces are living homes are burnt to ashes. The people are burnt to ashes. In one sense, the complete destruction. This is this is the mentality of the demons, Asuric mentality. Pura is towns with market. When you say Pura, that is town with market. Grama is town without market. Without marketplace, a living in place is called as Grama. With marketplaces, it is called Pura. Praja means places for cows. Udyana means forest with lots of flowers, flower gardens. Kshetra means the fields of grains, the agricultural land. Arama is the forest with fruits, the fruit garden. Ashrama means houses for sages. These are like ashramas, etc. Akara means mines for jewels and minerals. Kheta means houses for farmers. Karavata is a village in a valley of mountain. So forest dwellers. Gosha is the house for the cowherd. Pattanam is the capital city. So like that, everything. They did not leave any small thing. Even if a village is in the mountain, village is in the riverside, village is in the cow sheds, in the field also, everything is destroyed. This is the Asuric mentality. Then what else? Kechit kanitrair bibidhu
केचित् कनित्रैर्बिबिधु
setu prakara gopuran
सेतुप्राकारगोपुरान्
ajivyam chichidur vrikshan
आजीव्यांश्चिचितुर्वृक्षान्
kechit parashupanayah
केचित् परशुपाणयः
प्रादहन शरणान्येके
प्रादहन् शरणान्येके
प्रजानां ज्वलितोल्मुखै
प्रजानां ज्वलितोन्मुखैः. Some of the demons took digging instruments and broke down the bridges, the protective walls and the gates, gopuras, of the cities. Some took axes and began cutting the important trees that produced mango, jackfruit, and other sources of food. Some of the demons took firebrands and set fire to the residential quarters of the citizens.
Some of the demons took shovels and broke down the bridges, the protective walls, and the gates of the cities. Some took axes and began cutting the trees that produce fruits. Some of the demons took firebrands and set fire to the residential quarters of the citizens. See, what we don't think of normally, they are doing everything that. This is what is Asuric mentality. एवं विप्रकृते लोके
एवं विप्रकृते लोके
दैतेन्द्रानुचरैर्मुहुः
दैतेन्द्रिया अनुचर्मुः
दिवं देवान् परित्यज्य
दिवं देवा परित्यज्य
भुवि चेरुरलक्षिता.
भुवि चेरुरलक्षिता. Translation: thus distributed again and again by the unnatural occurrences caused by the followers of Hiranyakashipu, all the people had to cease the activities of Vedic culture. Not receiving the results of yajna, the demigods also became disturbed. They left their residential quarters in the heavenly planets and, unobserved by the demons, began wandering on the planet Earth to see the disasters.
Yeah, when all the people were disturbed repeatedly by the followers of Hiranyakashipu, the Devatas, not receiving the results of sacrifice, left the heavenly planets and, unobserved by the demons, began wandering the earth. There are two things are happening. On the earth, all the variety of people are getting killed. Even some of them are not getting killed, but their residential quarter, their agricultural fields, and all other things, amenities are all destroyed completely. They can't do anything. They can't even eat also. Then what to speak of performing yajna and all? Because they stopped performing yajna, the heavenly places lost their luster, lost their glory. The Devatas, understanding that these Asuras can come to heaven anytime, if they come, we don't have any strength to fight with them. They gave up their heaven and assuming different forms, disguising themselves as ordinary human beings. They are also wandering on the earth along with the normal human beings. Because if they are identified, they will be caught and taken to Hiranyakashipu. But anyway, now they have been leading here and there, but eventually Hiranyakashipu will catch them and take them into custody. That he will do. But now at least from Asura they are trying to escape by disguising themselves. When the people were disturbed, the Devatas left heaven because of not receiving their share of sacrifice. That's why they said, when the yajna is performed here regularly, the Devatas will get their regular meal and they remain healthy and strong and stout. When it is stopped, they'll become weak and they can't do their duties properly. That is what happens. So thus, in that way, in the last four verses, we saw that how following the instruction of Hiranyakashipu, all these asuras are doing all these things. So then, but after sending them, Hiranyakashipu, pacifying his mother Aditi, his sister-in-law Rushabhanu, I think her name is Rushabhanu only, and his nephews. So many nephews are there because who are all crying at the death of their beloved son, husband, and father. He is pacifying them. The rest of the chapter is all about pacifying them. Afterwards, in third chapter, as he said before, he'll go to Vindhyachala mountain, perform Siva Tapasya, and eventually will get the blessings of Lord Brahma. That will be explained in the third chapter. Then he will capture Indra and other devatas and torture them. That all will be explained in the fifth chapters. So this remaining chapter is all about how Hiranyakashipu with knowledge tried to pacify his mother Diti and also his sister-in-law, that is brother's wife, and their and her children. So let us see. Hiranyakashipu Bratuhu
Hiranyakashipurabhratuhu
Samparetasya Dukkitaha
Samparetasya dukkitaha
Krutva Katodakadeni
Kritva katodakadeni
Bhratruputran Asantvayat.
Bhratraputran asantvayat. After performing the ritualistic observances for the death of his brother, Hiranyakashipu, being extremely unhappy, tried to pacify his nephews.
Yeah, somehow they performed the final rites, that burning the dead body and all. Then the Hiranyakashipu tried to pacify his crying nephews who are actually feeling so much pain of separation. Katodaka means water given to the pretas. The word Adi indicates the performance of Preta Shraddha rites as well. So basically, after death, whatever is to be done, all those things done, and the nephews, mother, and daughter, sister-in-law were crying, and is trying to pacify them. So let us see who are all the nephews. The nephews' names are mentioned. Some of the names we might have heard here and there. Some of the names might be new, but these are the children of Hiranyaksha. Kindly remember. Shekunim Sambaram Drishtim
Shakunim Sambaram Dishtim
Bhuta Santapanam Vrikam
Bhutas Santapanam Mrikam
Kalanabam Mahanabam
Kalanabam Mahanabam
Harismashrum Atotkatam
Harishmashrum Athopam Patam
Tanmataram Rushabanum
Tanmatram Rusavanum
Titim cha Jananim Gira
Ditim Cha Jananim Gira
Lakshanaya Deshakalagnya
Slakshanaya Deshakalejana
Idam Aha Janeshwara.
Idam Aha Janeshwara. Translation: O King Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry, but since he was a great politician, he knew how to act according to the time and situation. With sweet words, he began pacifying his nephews, whose names were Shakuni, Sambara, Drishti, Bhuta, Santapana, Vrata, Kalanabha, Mahabanabha, Hari, Shumsuru, and Utkacha. He also consoled their mothers. He also controlled their mother, his sister-in-law Rushabhanu, as well as his own mother Diti. He spoke to them all as follows.
Understanding the need of the hour, so Hiranyakashipu pacifying all his family members. O king, Hiranyakashipu, judging the time and place with sweet words, spoke to his nephews, whose names were. There are many more nephews, but the prominent one names are mentioned here. Shakuni, not the Mahabharata Shakuni, but he is also another Shakuni. Sambara. So Sambara could be the same Sambara who stole Rukmini's son when Rukmini gave birth to Pradyumna, and Sambara, understanding that this Pradyumna is going to my death, he stole that son and threw him in the ocean, and the fish ate that son. Later on, the hunter caught that fish. The fish was brought to the kitchen of the same king only, the Sambara's king only, kingdom only. In the kitchen, so there was a lady who was joined as a cook in that kitchen. That was Ranti Devi. In her previous life, she was the wife of Kamadeva. So at one point of time, the Indra requested Kamadeva to go and incite Lord Shiva so that Lord Shiva will marry Parvati, and as a result of that, they will beget a son, Kartikeya. He will be our commander in chief. When he comes, so we can kill all these asuras, because so many asuras are troubling them again and again. So when Shiva was in deep meditation, when Kamadeva was trying to disturb Lord Shiva, Shiva became angry, and with a third eye, he burnt Kamadeva into ashes. So then Brahma, Indra, and other devatas came and begged forgiveness, and then prayed like, let Kamadeva be born. Then Lord Shiva told her, no, he cannot be born now. He will be there in an invisible way. He will do his services, but he will get his form only after he enters into the body of Pradyumna, and after he performs some pending activities. After that, he will resume his body and he will continue his activities. So then, Pradyumna, one of the quadruple expansion, when he appeared, this Kamadeva also appeared entered in him and appeared along with him, along with Pradyumna. And Kamadeva's wife Rati, she became the cook in Sambara's kitchen, because she knew my husband finally will come here and I'll marry him, like that. So in that way, Rati Devi also an expansion of Mother Lakshmi. So in that way, she was there. So Sambara kidnapped, and eventually this lady cut the fish. She saw a small kid and she took care of the kid. Eventually, the kid became youthful in no time. Very fast he grew up. And then Rati Devi understood, he is my husband only. So then Rati Devi tells everything. So what all happened, how we came here, what are the purpose in which he come here. Because she knew my Lord will come and kill Sambara and take me away. So then while she is explaining all these things, Sambara understood what is happening here. And she came and she challenged Pradyumna for fight, and Pradyumna killed him. And then he took Rati Devi along with him and went to Dwaraka and back to, and met his mother Rukmini Devi and father Lord Krishna. So that's Sambara. And then there is Drishti, Bhuta Santapana, Vruka. This Vruka is the same Vrukasura who wanted to offer his bodily limbs to Lord Shiva to get a benediction by which he would get the benediction that on whosoever head I will keep my hand, they should become ash. So Lord Shiva said, okay, he had to give the benediction, otherwise this fellow will kill himself. He said, okay. Then Vrikasura said, no, I want to test. I want to put my hand on your head. That person. And Kalanaba is the same person whose name is Kalanemi. He eventually was born as the son of the Kamsa. Kalanaba is Kalanemi, and he appeared again as Kamsa. So like that. And then there is Mahanaba, Harismarshu, and Utkacha. So these are all different asuras, different sons of Hiranyaksha. He might be having many more sons, but these are the main ones. Their names are mentioned, as well as their mother Rushabanu. We know Rushabanu Maharaj, the father of Radharani, but here the same name, the mother of the Hiranyakashipu sons is there, as well as his own mother Diti. Diti is the mother of both Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So one son died, so she obviously cried. So all three are intensely affected. So he is trying to pacify them according to time and place. What words need to be spoken properly, appropriately, so that he will continue to speak. The entire chapter is all about this only. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow what's happening?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Sri Hiranyakashipu Ruvacha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Prabhuji, one question.
yes.
Prabhuji, they used to, the king used to eat fish and all that time.
See, Mataji, who was the king? Sambara is not ordinary king. Is a huge Asura and Rakshasa. They will eat, na?
Okay.
It was Sambara only. In Sambara's kingdom only, she became the cook. Rati became the cook.
Okay.
So personalities like Sambara obviously will eat. Why not?
Okay. And one more thing, Prabhuji. Why the demigods in the Swargaloka are so much dependent on the sacrifices performed on earth?
Uh,
I mean,
are we not dependent on breakfast, lunch, and dinner? How long we can continue to work if we don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Just remember one Janmashtami. Remember one Nirjala Ekadashi.
yeah. Yes,
So,
Prabhuji.
so that is their food. Our yajna is their food.
Acha. Okay.
When we offer yajna, they get food. If you don't give, they will starve.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Mm.
Thank you.
Any other devotee? Any questions? Okay. Sri Hiranyakashipur Uvacha.
Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha.
Ambambahe Vaduputra
Amba Amba He Vaduputra.
Veeramarhata Sochitum
Veera Marahatam Sochitam.
Ripur Abhimuke Shlaghya
Ripo Abhimukhe Slaghya.
Suranam Vada Ipsitaha.
Suranam Vada Ipsitah. Translation. Hiranyakashipu said, my dear mother, sister-in-law, and nephews, you should not lament for the death of the great hero, for the hero's death in front of his enemy is glorious and desirable.
Yeah, now he's telling that. So, my dear mother, my dear sister-in-law, and my dear nephews, you should not lament because the death of a great hero. We should not lament for the death of a great hero. For a hero's death in front of his enemy is glorious and desirable. If a warrior dies in the battlefield, no one cries generally because anyway they attend Swarga. Normal general custom. If a husband, if a person dies in the battlefield, the family member should not cry because he attends higher destination because he attend a selfless death, so they will attend higher destination. So that should be a happy occasion. So from that point of view. So when heroes die in the battlefield, they attain higher destiny. So for their death, one should not lament. So Vadhu means wife of his brother. So but it's something like that. So then he will continue philosophy of birth and death spoken by Hiranyakashipu. But whatever it is, kindly see this. Here Hiranyakashipu is addressed as Sri Hiranyakashipu. Though he is Asura, he is Jaya Vijaya. That could be one reason. The second reason could be now he is going to speak Bhagavad Gita philosophy. Though his person may be wrong, but the philosophy which he is going to present is the proper philosophy. So he is respected. And third thing is anyway, he will be going to be the father of a great devotee. So there should be some respect even he is the father of a great devotee. He himself he could be Asura, but since he is the father of a great devotee, respect should be given. So from all these things we can understand that why Sri is used. So now the next 6 verses, perfect Gita philosophy. We can understand that okay, these verses have come in the Bhagavad Gita also, same verses. भूतानां इह संवास
Bhutanam iha samvasah
प्रपायां इव सुव्रते
prapayam iva suvrate
दैवेनैकत्र नीतानां
daive naikatra nitanam
पुण्नीतानां स्वकर्मभिः.
unnitanam swakarmabhihi. My dear mother, in a restaurant or a place for drinking cold water, many travelers are brought together, and after drinking water, they continue to their respective destinations. Similarly, living entities join together in a family, and later, as a result of their own actions, they are led apart to their destinations.
This verse is something like Jatasri Dhruvam Mutyu Dhruvam Janma Mritasya. People cut to take birth and live for some time and then they depart. Same way, he is explaining that with an analogy. Persons are brought together to live in one place by karma and are taken away by karma, just as living entities gather at a watering hole and then depart. So currently nowadays we are getting water within our home only, but in the past there used to be well. So for some aristocratic family, they would have their own well in the within the home itself. But people, village people in general, there should be one well for all that one area. There should be one well. So people come and they would pull the water up and then take it. Their small vessels and take home. So just like for collecting water, the different family members should come there. They would take the water out of the well, and while doing though, they would talk. After they collect the water, they will say, "Okay, bye bye, हम कल मिलेंगे. Tomorrow we'll meet." They will depart. Just like people come and for a purpose, they do that and then they depart. After collecting water, they depart. Like that, the living entities bring to come together because of their karma. They stay for some time, and when their karma is over, they go back. So mother, father, brother, sister, wife, husband, children, all these people because of karma they come, they stay together for some time, then they depart. So this is the philosophy. You should rid yourself of lamentation out of separation from your relatives. It is like living and it is coming together at a drinking place and departing. Yeah, for collecting water they came together. After collecting water they depart. Same way we all come together, stay together as allows, then depart. So no need to lament for that. So like that. So somebody may say that no, why should not lament? So he came and he departed. So there should be no lamentation. Why? So mar gaya. Then next verse he will say that no, he will not die. Atma is eternal. That principle will be mentioned in the next shlokas. Since Atma is eternal, person came together, sleep somewhere, and he will go. And he will go to some other place and he will meet with some other people tomorrow and he will stay there for some time and he will depart. And afterwards, in the next life, with some other people, like that, life after life, he will make newer friends. And like that, he moves on. There is no death for the Atma, is eternal. That is what is indicated in the next. Therefore, one should not lament. What was that word? Asochan and Asochan, Prajna Vadamsha Bhasite, Gatasu Nagadasunsa, Nanu Sochanti Pandita. So, like that. Dehinosminita Dehe, Kaumaram, Yavan and Jara Tata, Deantar Vapti, Dera Tatanamiti. That verses. All these verses together we can see in this verse. Nitya Atma Vyaya Shuddha.
Nityatmavaha Shuddha
Sarvaga Sarvavit Paraha.
Sarvaka Sarvavit Vitpara
Datte Sav Atmano Lingam.
Datte Swa Atmano Lingam
Mayaya Visrujan Gunan.
Mayaya Visrujan Guna. Translation. The spirit soul, the living entity, has no death, for he is eternal and inexhaustible. Being free from material contamination, he can go anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds. He is aware, he is fully aware and completely different from the material body. But because of being misled by misuse of his slight independence, he is obliged to accept subtle and gross bodies created by the material energy, and thus be subjected to so-called material happiness and distress. Therefore, no one should lament for the passing of the spirit soul from the body. Hare Krishna.
The Atma is eternal. Nitya. Atma Avyaya, without decay. Atma will never decay. It is always as it is. There is no birth, there is no growth, no byproducts, there is no dwindling, there is no death. All these things are only connected to body, the six changes, not for Atma. And Atma is pure, Shuddha, Sarvaga, capable of going to all the planets. This life is in Bhuloka, next life Sargaloka, next life Bhuvarloka, here and there it can go anywhere. Sarvavit experiences life everywhere. So it goes everywhere and experiences life everywhere. And is different from the body. Paraha. It is not the body which is in front of you. Atma is entirely different. By its ignorance, the Atma accepts for itself the subtle body. Datte sav Atmano lingam. Lingam means subtle body. Maya Visurjan Gunan. So by its ignorance, the Atma accepts for itself a subtle body in order to accept and reject various gross bodies. As long as one is in ignorance, one will be with one subtle body. But in the with that subtle body, one starts accepting a grass body, leaving it. Accepting another grass body, or leave it. Another one, leave it. Another one, leave it. Like that, one changes hundreds of grass bodies while living in this material, while in ignorance. All this is happening because of Maya, because of the ignorance. Perfect Bhagavad Gita philosophy. I have said all this from the common man's viewpoint to make you understand. You should also understand by philosophy that Hiranyaksha is an Atma, not a body. The previous one is common man understanding. Like people come to a well, collect water, and then go. Like that, we all come together and go. The next one is, but even though that is, but philosophically understand that Atma is Nitya, Atma is Avyaya, Atma is Shuddha, Sarvaga, Sarvavit, Paraha, and Atma accepts the gross bodies and subtle bodies because of ignorance. Atma accepts one subtle body, but multiple gross bodies. The gross body keeps changing after every life, but subtle body does not change. Subtle body remains there. At the time we enter into material world, we get subtle body, and when we leave this material world, we have to leave the subtle body. Till then, subtle body will be same, and it will be with us. Like that. Here about his real form as an Atma. He is eternal, he is without death, without decay, without contamination, and all pervading. All pervading is the quality of the Supreme Lord. but because of his demoniac mentality, he applies this term to Jiva. So here one point is in that all pervasion is actually Andantarastha Paramanu Chantarastha is for the Supreme Lord. Jivatma at one place only cannot be Sarvaga. But Hiranyakashipu, because of his demonic mentality, he makes Jiva to be all pervading. Matlab, Aham Brahmasmi, something like that. But the Jiva goes to all planets and therefore can be called Sarvaga. Yeah, that could be another understanding because life after life he goes to all places. But at one time he cannot be everywhere. But over multiple lifespans, one can go to different places. So in that way, Sarvaga. He knows everything about happiness and distress, Sarvavit. He is different from the subtle body, Para. So Atma is different from subtle body and definitely different from the gross body. This Atma accepts this body by ignorance. Atma accepts the subtle body by ignorance. Why? He accepts the subtle body in order to accept gross bodies, high or low. Sometimes heavenly gross body, sometimes animal gross body, sometimes human gross body. And then he rejects these gross bodies. Visrujan has both meanings. Accepts and gives up. Because one cannot live with one gross body for eternity. So accept the gross body, live in the gross body for some time, give it up and accept another gross body. Like that, move on all over the universe. Abrahma Bona Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So like that. Very systematic, analytical, and very crisp philosophy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in spite of knowing all this philosophy, it's
Hmm.
still acting demonic.
Hmm.
And I'm sure in the later verses must be explained why. But this is, I'm talking about myself, that at times, in spite of knowing the philosophy, we get carried away by the situations and sometimes we act
What is the 10th offense?
uh, tenth offense.
If not verbatim, but in essence, what is the 10th
No,
offense?
the last one was not being inattentive, I guess. That's what? No, that is, I don't remember.
Anybody?
In spite of knowing, still being attached to the material thing. This is
See,
what.
anyone can know, but how many will apply it as it is? Even we also many times we may know many things, but many times we take it for granted. Like, okay, it's okay. It's there, but it's okay. But we like that. So we may
So
do occasionally once in a while, and Hiranyakashipu is see, being a personality, she's son of Kashyapa, he knows philosophy, but know how to apply that philosophy. That is important. For what we are applying that philosophy? What is our motive of knowing all this philosophy, and what is the motive of practicing this philosophy? That makes a difference.
yeah, but my question is, probably, it's not that every time we are, acting. I mean, this philosophy is there in our mind, in subconscious mind also. Sometimes we get carried away by the situation, by the external, by the provocations, or whatever you call it. So I was just thinking that what is the reason behind it? Because we are still highly conditioned and therefore, or there's some past life things which is not allowing us to, practice it fully. What is it?
Yeah, one way we can say conditioning, but other way to be come to the most, I mean, the precision and all, we can say we are not so determined to follow the philosophy completely. Complete in the sense, always we want to follow, but that desire to follow is not that strong. That's why sometimes we fail to follow.
It's lack of determination.
In that way, the determination is not strong enough, so we fail to follow sometimes.
Thank you.
Mm. Correct. यताम्बसा प्रचलता
Yathambasa prachalata
Saravopi chala iva.
तरवोऽपि चला इव
Chakshusha भ्राम्यमानेन
चक्षुषा भ्राम्यमाणेन
दृश्यते चलतीव भू.
दृश्यते चलतीव भू. Because of the movements of the water, the trees on the bank of the river, when reflected on the water, seem to move. Similarly, when the eyes move because of some mental derangement, the land appears to move also.
This example did not come in the Bhagavad Gita, but it came in the Bhagavatam. Even Bhagavad Gita also we can think of what was that? Yata darpam malena cha. Just like the mirror is covered by the dust, huh? Fire is covered by the smoke, embryo is covered by the womb. So that analogy, then to some extent we are covered. The same way, being covered by the gross body, subtle body, what will be our perception? How different people have different perceptions. Some examples are given here. Because of the movements of the water, the trees on the bank of the river, when reflected on the water, seem to move. So there is a river which is moving and the tree there on the bank, and when the reflection is there in the night time or in the evening times, you can say, the reflection also starts moving because of the movement of the water. Similarly, when the eyes move because of some mental derangement, the land appears to move. The small kids do the play that is moving around themselves. When they move around for some time, even in our Sunday program also, when some devotees they dance, they move around. When they stop it, they start feeling that the temple is moving around. They are stable, but temple is moving around. That is because of the derangement. The understanding is that just like though the tree is stable, but the tree reflection in the water is seems to be moving because the water is moving. Same way, the Atma is stable, but the bodies are going through birth and death. One thinks that I am going through birth and death because of one's identity with the body. When we see the reflection definitely will move. But if we see the actual tree, it will never move. Same way, when we see the Atma will never go through birth and death. But when we see Atma's reflection in the body, well, Atma's presence in the body, because the body is going through birth and death. So we consider that this person is taking birth and dying. So like that. It is only the shadow, not the real person. So like that we have to understand. Since Atma accepts the subtle body, the Atma is different from the subtle body. An example is given. How Atma is different from subtle body? The example is given. The tree reflected in the water seem to move because of moving water. The trees do not move since they are different from the water. Similarly, the qualities of the subtle body, lamentation, illusion, are fastly projected in the Atma. The water moving up and down is like the happiness and distress. Water going up is happiness and going below is distress, like that. The reflection of the tree also going up and down, going through happiness and distress. But these are the qualities of the water, not the qualities of the tree. Tree is not going up and down. Tree's reflection in the water, we are seeing that reflection to be the tree, and that is going through ups and downs. So like that, it is indicated. Since Atma is different from the subtle body, lamentation and illusion do not belong to Atma. Because going up and down belongs to water only, not to the tree. Attributes of the covering on the soul, the subtle body, are projected on the Atma. What's happening to the subtle body have been projected on the Atma. So now the understanding should be like this. There is a tree, but we can't see the tree. Understand that we can't see the tree. But what we can see, the tree's reflection in the water we can see. Only when there is a via medium in which we can see the reflection, so we get to see the tree. The original tree we can't see. Original tree is Atma, it is very subtle, we can't see. But when it is reflected in the water, we can see the reflection. Understand like that. Same way, Atma cannot be seen. And presence of Atma can be pursued when the Atma enters into a body, subtle body and gross body. But just like here, water going through up and down, and we see the reflection going through up and down, we say that a tree is going up and down. So that kind of realization is wrong. Atma does not go through any happiness and distress. Happiness and distress all belongs to subtle body only. So this point is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. If you remember, chapter 13 in the beginning, uh, two verses talks about Kshetra. What are the different things of Kshetra? That is text number 6 and 7. So what Lord Krishna says is there, what the grass and subtle bodies consists of. Idam kshetram kaunteya kshetrajnam avidiyate. So basically this body is said to be the kshetra. Kshetra is combination of grass body and subtle body. So what the kshetra constitutes, all those things are mentioned in that. Mahabhutani ahankaro buddhir avyaktam evacha. Mahabhutani means pancha mahabhutas. Ahankara is ahankara. And buddhi means intelligence. Avyakta means three modes. Indriyani dashayakam cha. There are 11 indriyas, 11 senses, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas and mind. Pancha indriya gochara. There are 5 tanmatras, shabda, sparasha, rupa, rasa, gandha. And then all these things make the gross body and subtle body. Then what are the activities of the gross body, subtle body? Ichcha, dvesha. There is ichcha, there is dvesha in the mind. Sukham, dukkam. The mind experiences sukham and dukkam. Sangatas, chetana. Want to perform so many activities. Sangata, chetana, dhriti. With determination, one want to perform so many activities. Etak kshetran samasena savikara mudahurda. All these things are said to be kshetra. So the happiness and distress, sukham, dukkam, all these are all belonging to subtle body only. They are not belong to Atma. An example of the qualities of a sense being applied to the object perceived by the sense is given. Because of the rolling eye, the earth appears to move. The earth is caught by the defective eye, just like a man haunted by a ghost. Till now we were moving around. Because till now the eyes are moving, and when we stop moving, we see that earth is moving. Because the eye is already in momentum. So like that. So it perceives that earth is moving. Similarly, when the soul identifies with the subtle body, whatever is happening in the subtle body, the soul thinks that it is happening to me because of that strong identity, because of that momentum. So that is understanding. So yes, so when a person is moving around, we see that the earth is moving around the earth is moving in the counterclockwise direction when we are moving clockwise direction. Even when we stop, we think that the earth is moving the counterclockwise direction only. That is because of the momentum. Same way, even though soul is stable, because the soul is accepting one body after other body, so the soul thinks that I am only dying, I am only born, so something like that. So he further continues 3 more verses. In 3 verses only, he has kind of the whole Bhagavad Gita here, there, everywhere, multiple points are succinctly put in a few verses only. Then the previous verse example given, the example is attributed to Atma now in the next verse. Evam guner brahmyamane
Evam gunir brahmane
manasi avikala puman
manasi avikya puman
syatita samyatam badre
yatitat samyata badre
hi alingo lingavaniva.
heya lingo lingavan iva. Translation. In the same way, O my gentle mother, when the mind is agitated by the movements of the modes of material nature, the living entity, although freed from all the different phases of the subtle and gross bodies, thinks that he has changed from one condition to another.
Same thing. O my gentle mother, when the mind is agitated by the movements of the gunas, the living entity, although pure and not identical with the subtle body, takes on the qualities of the mind as if he was a subtle body. So basically the same point. The Sukham, Dukkam, Chetana, Dhriti, all these activities, all the happiness, distress, good, bad, everything is happening in the mind only. But when the soul identifies with the mind and subtle body as its own, then whatever is happening in the mind, the Jiva thinks that I am going through all these things. I am going through happiness. I am going through distress. I am born. I am dead. I am deceased. I am becoming old. Like that, the Atma thinks. But actually, it is all happening with the subtle body and gross body. The Atma absorbed in the body is controlled by the body and is overcome by its qualities. Whatever the body is going through, whatever transformations the body is take birth and growing, we say that I am growing. And when the body is dwindling, we say that I am dwindling, I am becoming old, I will die one day. Like that. Atma is pure, but becomes like the mind, like the subtle body, accepting the qualities of mind. Your mind means subtle body. So Atma assumes itself with the subtle body, identifying with the qualities of the subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and Chetana. Like that, a person becomes entangled in this material world by identifying oneself with the subtle body and also with the gross body. At least Hiranyakasipu is telling that one identifies the subtle body only. But in our condition, our attachment to gross body is so much that we are not even aware of subtle body also. So we are one step lower than what Hiranyakasipu is telling now. Like that. And then the last two verses, it tells the final concluding philosophical words. He says that Esha Atma Viparyaso
एषात्मा विपर्यासो
Iyalinge Linga Bhavana
एय लिङ्गे लिङ्गे भावना
Esha Priya Priyaryogo
एषा प्रिये प्रियर्योगो
Viyoga Karma Samsruti
योगा कर्म संसृति
Sambhavascha Vinashascha
शाम्भवश्च विनाशश्च
Shokascha Vividasmruta
शोकश्च विविधा स्मृता
Avivekascha Chinta cha
विकेशश्च च चिन्ता च
Viveka Smrutireva cha.
विवेका स्मृत एव च. Translation. In this believered state, the living entity accepting the body and mind to be self, considered some people to be his kinsmen and others to be outsider. Because of this misconception, he suffers. Indeed, the accumulation of such concocted material ideas in the cause of suffering and so-called happiness in the material world. The conditioned soul, thus situated, must take birth in different species and work in various types of consciousness, thus creating new bodies. This continued material is called samsara. Birth, death, lamentation, foolishness, and anxiety are due to such material consideration. Thus, we must come to proper understanding and sometimes fall again to a wrong conception of life. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, big words. Very. The condition of the Atma, the conditioned nature of Atma, which is different from its gross and subtle bodies. Atma itself, all the statements we have seen, Atma is Nitya, Sarvaga, Shuddha, Para, all those things. The the constitutional position of Atma, which is different from its gross and subtle bodies, becomes reversed when it identifies with the bodies. Atma itself is eternal, but when we identify with the body, we think that we are temporary, we are taking birth, we are growing, we are getting married and begetting children and dying. This causes attaining what is desired and undesired. This is because of we attain what is desired and what is undesired, losing what is desired or undesired. So basically, our happiness and distress depends upon when we want something, if we get, we are happy. We don't get, we are not happy. When we keep it, we are happy. When we lose it, we are unhappy. And because of our various activities, when you do some activity, we are happy. When some other activity, we are not happy. And changing the bodies, birth, death, lamentation, lack of discrimination, anxiety, and loss of discrimination after having possessed it. So all these things takes place because of identity with the gross body and subtle body. If we still remain identifying with ourselves with the Atma, none of these material experiences we go through. All the material experiences we are going through because of our identity with the subtle body and then gross body. So like that. He is telling that. So all of you are actually now thinking that your son, your husband, your father passed away. But understand that Atma is eternal. Atma never have any birth and any death. When you understand that, you are simply identifying yourself with this body, and also you are identifying with the others who are in connection with this body as yours. That identity is the cause of your suffering now. Now you are thinking that is your son, is your husband, is your father. That is only bodily connection. But from Atma to Atma, there is no connection. No need to cry because Atma is eternal. Asochan anasochyasam prajna vadancha bhatsite kathasu nagathasu nan sociante pandita. So like that, he is indicating in this verse. Though the Atma is not the body, it identifies with the body because of attractiveness. This is an inversion of the Atma's condition. Atma originally is Swatantra, independent and eternal. Identifying with the body, one thinks that I am dependent and short-lived. Because of this reversal, there is connection with the desired objects and undesired objects, separation from desired objects and undesired objects. So because of we identify the body, based on the bodily connections, we like somebody, we don't like somebody. When we lose somebody whom we like, we feel pain. And when we get somebody whom we like, we get pleasure. So like that it happens. So our happiness, pain and pleasure is all due to our bodily identity. There is karma and accepting various bodies. Vivekasmi asmrutir means disappearance of discrimination after it has been present. Initially there is viveka, but eventually because of such conditions. So at this point of time when somebody near person dies, we forget all the viveka. So like that. Some people do not have any viveka, some people had viveka, but they lost under some critical conditions. So both can be possible. But anything, all these things are happening because of identity with the body, false identification. Any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
All the 6 verses are okay? You are able to follow? You could connect them to Bhagavad Gita verses?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
That's why it is Sri Hiranyakasipu Ruvacha, because the philosophy that he is speaking. So he himself spoke something, but still there is no pacification in Diti or Rishabhanu or the nephews. They are still lamenting only. Then he will tell a story. In that story, Yamaraja himself as a small boy teaches the eternality of the Atma, the temporary nature of the soul. Sorry, eternality of the soul and temporary nature of the body. To the ladies who are also crying at the death of their husband. So that story is explained now. The philosophical points are also spoken by Yamaraj, also explained now in the upcoming section. Let us see. Atrapi udaharanti mam
Atrapi udaharanti mam
itihasam puratanam
itihasam puratanam
yamasya preta bandhunam
yamasya preta bandhunam
samvadam tam nibodata.
samvadam tam nibodhatah. In this regard, an example is given from an old history. This involves a discourse between Yamraj and the friends of a dead person. Please hear it attentively.
You want to tell a story? In that, Yamaraja is talking to the relatives of a dead brother. So in that way, he will start that entire story. In this regard, an example is given from an old history, Itihasam Puranam. When Ajamila story is also mentioned, there also Bhagavatam said that Itihasam Purasanam. When Puratana story, old story is there, now I will narrate that. Same way here also, a Puranic story is being narrated. Please hear the discussion between Yamaraja and the friends of a dead person. This is a story of lamenting for something that does not deserve lamentation. It is a discussion of Yamaraja with the friends of a deceased person. Either Preta Bandhunam. Preta is the state after the death and before they get a new body. The intermediate state one is called as Preta. The dead person is called as Preta. So Preta Bandhunam, the friends of a dead body, dead person. In that way. So who is the dead person? Who are the friends? Ushinareshu Abudad. Sorry. Ushinareshu Abudraja.
Ushinaresha
Ushi,
Continue, Mataji.
Ushinaresha Abudha Raja
Suyajna iti Vishruta.
Suyajana iti Vishrutah
Sapatnairnihato Yudhe.
Spatneravnito Yodhe
Jnatayastam Upasata.
Janatasya Tam Upasata. In the state known as Usinara, there was a celebrated king named Suyajana. When the king was killed in the by his enemies, his kinsmen sat down around the dead body and began to lament the death of their friend.
In Ushinara, there was a famous king named Suyajna. He was killed during the war by enemies. The relatives sat around his dead body and began to lament. So, what they were lamenting, their lamentations are mentioned. We will skip these verses, we will read the translation only. When the queen, because he had many wives, when the queen went for a battle and he died, his dead body was brought home, or his dead body was still lying in the battlefield. All the queens were informed. They all went to the battlefield scene, and there, looking at the dead body of their husband, all the queens were crying. When the queen saw their husband, king of Ushinra, killed by fate, biting his lips in anger, his bejeweled armor smashed, his ornaments and garlands fallen from their places, his heart pierced by arrows, his body smeared with blood, his hair scattered, his eyes lusterless, his lotus face covered with dust, his arms and weapons broken, they began to lament. The wives are beginning to lament. O Lord, now that you have been killed, we also have been killed. Falling at his feet, pounding their breasts, repeatedly they cried. So basically, so husband died, the wives were lamenting, you lost your life, so we are also lost. Without you, what is the use of us living in this world? Like that, they were crying a lot at the death of their husband. Of course, the death itself is a very ghastly death. All the war descriptions are there, that itself creates so much fear. And finally, anyway, husband is died, so wives obviously will cry. The king had bitten his lip in anger while fighting, and at that moment he had been hit by the weapon of the enemy. He died in that condition. He was also angry, wanted to hit the enemy. The enemy hit first, and he fell dead. The whole body oozing blood. So, so obviously the queens will be very unhappy. They will be crying. So the queens loudly cried. Their tears, reddened by kunkuma powder in their breasts, moistened the lotus feet of their husband. With their hair and ornaments in disarray, causing grief in all people, they lamented by crying. When the queens are crying, all the assembled villagers, they also began to cry. Obviously, when somebody is crying and looking at them, others also will cry. The entire town people are crying. Oh Lord, you have now been taken somewhere beyond our sight by cruel providence, which has made you. Now the reason is why Yamaraja came all the way here. I'll understand that. So this person after death, he has been to Yamaloka, not to get punishment, but one has to, after death, one has to go to Yamaraj. Yamaraj will tell what all we did, what all we supposed to get. So in that way, the cruel death means the cruel Yamaraja. You have been taken somewhere beyond our sight by the cruel Yamaraja, by cruel providence, which has made you, even the same providence has made you. Previously, the maintainer of Vishnara, and the same providence made you the king of Vishnara, now he has taken you away from Vishnara, increasing the lamentation of the population of Rishinara. So everyone is crying, oh Lord, you made him as our king and you took him away. We have become shelterless. Who will protect us? Like that, all the people were lamenting. And they further say, oh hero, how shall we exist without you? A grateful husband and best friend. Best friend. The wives are saying that he is not only our husband, he was actually dealing with us very nicely, was our best friend. Without him, how can we live? Please give us the order to follow you wherever you will go to serve your feet. So, my dear husband, you have been away. So, please tell us that we will also come with you to serve you wherever you are. They are telling that please give us permission so that we can give up our bodies and come along with you. They are asking their husband. Give us the order to follow you where you go in order to serve your feet. This means we will die also. हम जी के कुछ फायदा नहीं. We also will die. So at that time, some important thing is happening. What is that? While the lamenting wives holding the dead body on their laps did not want the body go for the burning, the sunset. So basically, the king went for the battle in the morning. The battle went till the late afternoon, and the king died. The news came. The ladies came there. It was already one side sunset. They are crying, crying, crying. All the other relatives are telling that let us burn, let us do the final rites of the body. But they are not allowing. No, no, we can't allow our husband to be burnt. No, 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 no. It is generally understood that when somebody dies in the daytime, before sunset, their final rites should be done. If at all somebody dies late in the afternoon, late in the evening, then we cannot do the final cremation in the night, within before the night itself. So when they want to keep the dead body for till the next morning, it is said that the whole night no one should sleep who are there around the dead body. In the vicinity of the dead body, everyone should be awake and continue to chant Lord's holy names. As a result of that, whether the same dead person or some other ghostly being, because this body is there, this body can be used by a ghostly being, the ghostly being will enter into that body and create havoc. That's why they say that no one should sleep around a dead body in the night time, and everyone should be sitting and chanting Lord's bhajans, holy names, etc. In that way, the ghostly beings does not enter into a dead body and create havoc. Or the same person who left the body also will not come back. So that is understanding. So while the lamenting wives holding the dead body on their laps did not want the dead body to go for burning, so taking the body for burning, the sun gave up the western mountain and stopped its movement. The sun stopped becoming visible. Throughout the day, morning to evening, he is visible, so that we can say sun is moving from east to west. After one sun sets, where he is moving, we can't see. So in that way, it is said that the sun stopped moving. But we don't know he is moving, but we don't know how he is moving, since we can't see. But in any case, the ladies are not allowing the dead body to be taken and performing final rites. And they also accused the destiny, the providence and the emerage. Now it has to be done, the final rites has to be done. How can the ladies can stop it? So Yamaraj will come and inspire them. No, no, please allow the final rites to be done. That will be the rest of the chapter. Tatraha preta bandhunam.
Tatraha preta. Sorry, Mataji, continue.
तत्र प्रेतबन्धूनाम्
आश्रुत्य परिदेवितम्
अश्रुत्य परिदेवितम्
आहतान् बालको भूत्वा
आहतान् बालको भूत्वा
यमा स्वयम् उपागतः.
यमः स्वयमुपागतः.
Hearing the
While the
lamentation,
queen,
no, I will
yeah,
read. Hearing
yes,
the
yes,
lamentation of the friends of the departed king, Yamaraja took the form of a boy, went there, and spoke to them. Why Yamaraja took the form of a boy, we will realize later on when the conversation starts. That time we'll understand. Yamaraja very intelligently took the form of a boy because the small children words are very captivating. Everyone will be attracted to it. Just like just now we discussed the Vrukasura. When Vrukasura was blessed by Lord Shiva that on whomsoever head he will put hand, they will become ashes. So when he was chasing after Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu comes like a small boy. And Vrukasura, though he was the greatest Asura, but he was attracted to the beauty of the small boy and also sweet words. Oh gentleman, where are you going? Then the gentleman said, no, no, I got a bone from Shiva and I want to test by placing it on his head. The small boy said, he laughed. Then the gentleman said, why are you laughing? He said, no, you don't know, you never heard. After Daksha Yajna, during Daksha Yajna, when he lost his wife, since then he became mad. What he speaks, what he does, all ulta palta. There is no sync between those. Don't believe in his words. He is not in a sane condition. He has become mad, and whatever he says that does not work. They don't have any power. Oh, is it so? Ah, yes. There are so many cases. Like so many people said that they will become this, that, like blessed, but nothing happened to them. Even if you want, you can check. You keep the hand on your head, nothing will happen to you. So the boy, small boy, spoke in a attractive way. So Vrukasura accepted. Ah, yeah, maybe true. This boy is telling truths. So he put his own hand upon his head. He immediately got burnt to ashes. So like that, when small kids speak, that will be very much attractive. That's why Yamaraja came in the form of a small boy. Some say that generally Yama comes personally for pious persons and takes them to his city after their bodies are burnt. So normally when a person dead, Yamaraja sends Yamadutas. So Yamadutas will bring that person. But Yamadutas came to take Ajamila. So Yamadutas failed because Ajamila chanted Lord's holy name. So that time, in such cases, Yamaraja personally comes to do the needful, understanding in advance only. Hey, this person is beyond Yamadutas. So like that, he this time Yamaraja himself came. He did not send Yamadutas. The reason is some explain that among the women, a few were devotees. So Yama's servants could not approach. Thus Yama himself came to take the body, came to take the person from them. Because unless until the dead body is burnt, the Atma does not leave that place. Atma always tries to enter back into the dead body. That's why it is said that as soon as the person dies, immediately the cremation should be done. So that the dead departed soul should go to Yamaloka and then take next birth. If it is not done properly, the subtle body, the soul along with the subtle body will be moving around that home only. Will be there only. If it does not go away, they'll be hovering around the home only, will trouble the family members. It has to be done immediately. So like that. Yamaraja took the form of a boy because others could not enter such a form. Hmm? Because a child speaking is very sweet, and because a boy speaking philosophy would be astonishing and would inspire them to take up the instructions. So child speaking itself is very attractive. Then if a child speaks philosophy, that will be all the more becomes attractive. Recently, some WhatsApp post came. One small boy, maybe 2 years or 3 years, by not even 3 years, 2 years, about ABCDs. A for Arjun, B for Balram, C for cow, and like that. And C for Chaitanya, D for Duryodhan, like that. All the Mahabharata, all the personalities, all these personalities it is said. So in that way, it is being spoken. So especially when such small kids speak philosophy, big philosophy. So then finally says M for Mrityu. Finally says Z for zero. Zero means at death everything becomes zero. So become devotee. Like that he ends his discussion. So all the audience claps. Especially when small kids speak philosophy, it is very much attractive. That's why Yamaraj took the form of a boy. In that way. Now 37 to 57, long journey. Yamaraj is going to speak so many things. Some story lines. He will also tell one story about Pingala birds. But before that bird, he will tell some important story, philosophical, which is also similar to Bhagavad Gita. So nice. Three. Okay. Till now it is clear, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sri Yama Uvacha.
Shriyama Uvacha.
Aho Amesham Vyavasadhikanam.
Aho Amisham Vyavasadhikanam.
Aho Amesham Vayasadhikanam.
Aho Amisham
Vayasadhikana.
Vayasadhikanam.
Vipashyatam lokavidim vimoha.
Vipashyatam lokavidhim vimoha.
Yatra gatastatra gatam manusyam.
Yatra gatastatra gatam manusham.
Swayam sadarma api sochata partam.
Svayam sadharma api shochantyapārtham. Shri Yamaraj said, "Alas, how amazing it is! These persons who are older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus they should understand that they also are apt to die, yet still they are bewildered. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why do they uselessly lament?"
So small boy is telling that I'm a small boy. I don't know what is what. If I lament, that is okay. And all of you are elderly people, grown up people. You know everything. Still you are lamenting. This is not fitting to all of you. So like that he's saying. Persons older than me, seeing the law of birth and death, are bewildered. You know, you might have seen so many births and so many deaths, and still you are bewildered. The body gets to some unknown place from which it has come. Persons who take birth and die are lamenting uselessly. So he's telling that the material body which we see regularly, it is coming from the Panchamahabhutas. After death, it will again go back to Panchamahabhutas. And why are we lamenting? The body has come from somewhere until it's going back to that same place. So over, subject matter is over. Why people in knowledge are lamenting for this? जो होना ही चाहिए था हो रहा है. What is the need for lamentation? So like that, when a small boy says this philosophical thing, everyone they stopped crying and they began to listen to Yamaraj. The same thing is said in the Gita. Whatever Yamaraj is saying now as a small boy, Lord Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita. Avyaktaadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktaani dhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Before birth it was invisible. After death it becomes invisible. In during lifespan it was visible. जो जहां से आए वहां चले जाएगा. उसके लिए why are you lamenting? So like that. Then he continues. Aho vayam danyatama yadarta.
अहो वयं यत् अत्र
Aho vayam danyatama yadarta.
अहो वयं यत् अत्र
Tyakta त्यक्ता पितृभ्यां न विचिन्तयामा
तत्याय पितृभ्यां न विचिन्तयाम
अभक्ष्यमाणा अबलावृकादिभिः
अभक्षया अभक्षयाम्नाम् अबलावृत्तिः
सरक्षिता रक्षति यो हि गर्भे
सुरक्षिता रक्षति योगी गर्भे. Translation: It is wonderful that these elderly women do not have a higher sense of life than we do. Indeed, we are most fortunate, for although we are children and have been left to struggle in material life, unprotected by father and mother, and although we are very weak, we have not been vanquished or eaten by ferocious animals. Thus, we have a firm belief that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given us protection even in the womb of the mother, will protect us everywhere.
Oh woman, I am fortunate because though abandoned by my mother and father or my parents, I have not been eaten by wolves. Thus I do not worry. He who protects me in the womb is my protector now. The ladies were crying, the citizens were crying that you are our protector. Without you, who will protect us? We are dead without you. This is the answer for that. So, my dear ladies, please listen. I am more fortunate than you because I don't have any protector from the visual point of view. Because as soon as I was born, my parents thrown me in the forest, and now still I am living because I was not eaten by tigers and wolves in the forest. Because the one who was protecting me in the womb while I was in the womb, he also protected me when I was out of the womb. And all of you are thinking that your husband is protecting you all the while now. No, the one who is protecting you till now will also protect you afterwards also. Don't think that your husband is protecting you like that. Though young, I have understanding, but these persons do not. He speaks in amazement. So here comes the word amazement. So there is in Mahabharat, there was a discussion that took place between Yamaraj and Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Yamaraj only comes in the form of a Yaksha, and the Pandavas were trying to find out a. Actually, it was Yamaraj himself steals away the Arani wood from a great Brahmana who was performing yajna with the help of that Arani wood. The Brahmana took shelter of Pandavas and requested them, please get my Arani wood. It was Yamaraj only who himself came in the form of a deer. So the Pandavas were chasing after the deer. They chase so much. It is all dry forest. Since morning they were chasing. It is already noon, and they were feeling uh, so much thirsty. So Sahadeva was sent. Please go and find out here nearby water body is there. Please get some water. We all stay here. We can't walk anymore. So Sahadeva went to nearby water body. So he wanted to take some water. So there was an unembodied voice, some Akashvani thing. So you cannot take the water. This water belongs to us. So Sahadeva said, water belongs to no one. Water is the property of everyone. How can you claim that it belongs to me? So he said that still no, this water belongs to me. If at all you want water, you should answer my questions. Then you take it. And Sahadeva says that I belong to Kshatriya. I will never take it from someone as a begging. I give something and take in return. No, that is not the life of a Kshatriyas. So if you want to come in front of me, I'll fight with you. I'll kill you. Then I'll take water. Otherwise, the water is everyone's property. Everyone can take water. So saying those words, he was about to take the water. Suddenly fell unconscious. So Sahadeva never came. And the Pandavas sent Nakula, please go and find out Sahadeva and get the water. Same thing happened to Nakula. He fell dead, fell unconscious. Then Arjuna came, and Arjuna also says same thing. Kshatriyas will never beg. Kshatriyas give charity, but Kshatriyas never beg. And the Kshatriyas, they never take the lower position. They always take on the higher position or something like that. It says. Exactly what he said, I don't remember. But whatever it is, Arjuna also unable to control the thirst. He was about to take some water. When he was about to take water, he fell dead, fell unconscious. Even Bhima came. Bhima, seeing the three people, three of his brothers fell dead, he became very angry. So he is shouting at that person, "Hey, come in front of me if you want to do anything. Don't hide yourself. Come in front of me, stand in front of me. I'll fight and kill you." That person says same thing. I told your brothers, if you want water, answer my questions and take the water. Then Bhima again says same thing. The Kshatriyas never follow the barter system. They don't exchange things. They only know how to give. The Kshatriyas are well known for giving charity. They don't take anything in return for giving something. So, even though I can tell answers to your questions, but I don't want to tell you because that is not allowed for Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas should never ever take something in return. They should only give. There are many examples like that. So even when Lavakusha were going to Ayodhya to recite Ramayan, Mother Sita tells them that, see, are going to Ayodhya and all their Ayodhya people are very much charitable. They will be giving all of charities. Never ever take. Because taking charity is only for the Brahmanas. The Kshatriyas and Vaishyas should not take any charity. It is not recommended for them. They should only give charity. The Kshatriyas and Vaishyas should only give charity. They should not take charity. Brahmanas can take charity and can give charity, but not the Kshatriyas. So Mother Sita told Lavakusha, never ever take a charity because she did not tell that you are sons of Kshatriya, but she said like that. And same thing, Arjuna also at one point of time after they escaped from Lakh house. So while they were going, they wanted to drink Ganga water. So when he was about to drink water, the Rangana Parva, one Gandharva, he said, Ganga belongs to us. Why yours? Ganga belongs to everyone. Rangana Parva said that daytime it belongs to everyone, but nighttime it is only meant for us. So still Arjuna says, no, no, aisa nahi hota hai. We are hungry, we need water. My mother want water, so I want to take. Then Angana Parva, he came along with women. So he wanted to show off his valor in front of the women. He began to shoot arrows at Pandavas. He wanted to bind them and all. Arjuna immediately took up his bow and started shooting arrows, and eventually he defeated Angana Parva and he threw an Astra, with which his beautiful chariot burned to ashes. Previously, his chariot was very beautiful. Because of that, Angana Parva was known as Chitraratha. After this act of Arjuna, his name became known as Dagdaratha. Previously, he had Chitraratha, now he had Dagdaratha. So something like that. So that happened. So such kind of incidents. Then Angana Parva, he says that. So I'm very happy to see you such a valorous warrior. Please teach me Astra, how to throw the Astra. In return, also I will help you something. So Arjuna says, if you want Astra, I will teach you, but I don't want to take anything in return. Kshatriyas are forbidden to take anything in charity. I cannot take. So Arjuna taught Angana Parva the Astra very nicely. Then at the end, Arjuna asks, see, we are harmless human beings, we are simply walking. So why did you throw arrows at us? What made you to do that? So Angana Parva said multiple reasons. So one reason from him is because I was with women, I had to impress them by doing some special things that were there. The second thing, why through arrows at Pandavas means the reason is now Pandavas are identityless. They are neither brahmacharis nor grosas, nor vanaprasar nor sannyasi. As long as one is in one brahmachari is Gurukul, one is called brahmachari. As soon as one comes back from Gurukul, one should get married immediately. There should be no delay after leaving Guru and before getting married. The delay should be zero. Either always one should be under the shelter of Guru or one should be in Grahastha ashram. Shelter of Guru means Brahmachari ashram and with married means Grahastha ashram. One should always be in one ashram, one of the ashrams. Without ashrama, one should not live for long. That is a dangerous position. So that person can be killed, and killing that person not a sin. So Angana Parva says, because you are neither in Gurukula nor in married. So you can be killed without any sin. That's why dare to kill, dare to throw arrows. Then Arjuna says, please suggest me whom we can make select as a guru. At least before our marriage, we want to have a guru. Then Angana Parva suggests, you go in this way. There is a nice gentleman who is the younger brother of the Devala. His name is Daumya. He can be your suitable guru. And with his help, very soon you will become married people. You will become householders. Telangana Parvat said very soon they met Daumya, they accepted Daumya as their guru. From that point onwards, till Swargarohana Parva, eventually, even when Parikshit Maharaj, even when Janamejaya was ruling, Daumya was there with them, guiding their entire family. Daumya guided Pandavas, their grandson Parikshit, and Parikshit's son Janamejaya also. Afterwards, we don't know what happened, but it happened like that. So, Kshatriya should not take charity. So now, here, all the four Pandavas said same thing. We cannot take anything in return by exchanging something. So, but since you are not visible, if you come visible to me, I will kill you and then take water. But still, I am taking water, do whatever you want. Saying like that, Bhima was about to drink water. Then he also fell unconscious. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj came. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, yeah, please ask me whatever you want, I'll tell you. So then one may ask the question, why Yudhishthira Maharaj answered all the questions? The thing is, though Yudhishthira Maharaj is a Kshatriya, born Kshatriya, trained Kshatriya, but he has Brahmanical temperament a lot. So as a result of that, he said, I'll answer you. Whatever questions you have, I'll answer you. So he answers all the questions. Some say that he asked 108 questions. But whatever it is, one question among them is, what is the most amazing thing in this world? That was one of the questions asked by this Yaksha, which is none other than Yamaraj himself. So then, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, Yani yani ha bhutani gachantiha yamalayam. Shesha stavaramichanti. Himachariyam ataparam. There is no more bigger Acharya than this. What is that Acharya? In our vicinity, we see people dying. Every day people are dying. Every day people are dying. We see them. We hear people dying. We witness everything. But still, the remaining people think that I am going to stay here eternally. Shesha stavaramichanti. Others want to make their residence here for the rest of eternity. Even though hearing that every day, someone or the other in the neighborhood are dying and going to Himalayam. Yani yani ha bhutani gachanti ha Himalayam. Every day among the different living entities, one by one is going to Yamaloka. But still one thinks that I will not go to Yamaloka, I will stay here eternally. So there is no better Acharya than this. Kimacharya Mataparam. So the same thing, there Yudhishthira Maharaj told Yamaraj. Here Yamaraj is telling to the queens. Though young, I have the proper understanding of life. But these persons do not, he speaks in amazement. So like that. So we'll continue. Yaichayesha shrudati damavyayo.
य इच्छयेष सृजतीदम् अव्ययो
Ya eva rakshati avalumpate chaya.
य एव रक्षति अवलुम्पते च यः
Tasya bala kridanamahureshitu.
तस्याबलाक्रीडनम् आहुरीषितु
Characharam nigraha sangrahe prabhu.
चराचरं निग्रह संग्रहे प्रभु. The boy addressed the woman, O weak woman, only by the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never diminished, is the entire world created, maintained, and again annihilated. This is the verdict of the Vedic knowledge. This material creation, consisting of the moving and non-moving, is exactly like his plaything. Being the Supreme Lord, he is completely competent to destroy and protect. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. So what understanding he has, he's telling now. Oh men, they say that the world of moving and non-moving beings is simply a playing of the unchanging Lord, who by his will creates, maintains, and destroys this world. The Lord is capable of destroying and protecting. Whatever is happening around us is all happening by the will of the providence. And you people are scolding the providence. The providence has taken our husband away. So it is the providence only who has given you husband. That time you did not question why providence is giving us this husband. So everything is happening by the will of the providence. He can do anything. Before that, the ladies are asking, "Oh child, the Lord protected you in the womb. Why did He not protect our husband during the war?" You are telling that the same Lord protected you in the womb and protected you now, also protecting you now also. Why the Lord is not protecting our husband now? The Lord acts by His will, not on the request of others. Okay, Lord can protect, but don't expect that He will do the way you want. Then the ladies ask, why does He desire independently? Why does He do whatever He want? He is the controller, because He has supreme power independent of all others. Seeking a cause of His will would simply negate His position of supreme power. Because the Lord is supreme Lord, and it is up to Him whatever thought He want and whatever He want to do. If you ask why He is doing like this, so then you will become the supreme Lord. Why He will be supreme Lord? So He can have independence. Whatever He want, He can think. Whatever He want, He can do. If He has to think the way you want, then you will be the supreme Lord. He will be your follower, like that. Then the next question is, why does He carry out the creation and destruction? If that is the case, why does He create and why does He kill and destroy and cause so much pain? Then the boy says, "Oh men, it is only His play. The Lord is fully capable of destroying and protecting. Whatever He is doing, it is only His Leela, His play only." So like that. Then he further says, Patichutam trish Patichutam tishtati rakshitam
Patiश्च्युतं तिष्ठति दिष्टरक्षितम्
grihe stitam tad vihatam vinashyati.
गृहे स्थितं तद् विहतं विनश्यति
जीवत्यवान्तोऽपि तदीक्षतो वने
जीवत्यनाथो अपि तद् ईक्षतो वने
गृहे विगुप्तोऽस्य हतो न जीवति.
गृहे विगुप्तोऽस्य हतो न जीवति. Sometimes one loses his money on a public street where everyone can see it, and yet his money is protected by destiny and not seen by others. Thus, the man who lost it gets it back. On the other hand, if the Lord does not give protection, even money maintained very securely at home is lost. If the
Hmm.
Supreme Lord gives one protection, even though one has no protector and is in the jungle, one remains alive, whereas a person well protected at home by relatives and others sometimes dies, no one being able to protect him.
So when the ladies ask that, so the Lord protected you in the womb and protected you now also, but why He is not protecting our husband? Whom to protect, whom to kill? It's last desire. So with the help of an example, here it is said. What is dropped on the road is protected by the Lord. What remains in the house but is rejected by the Lord is destroyed. Even a person loses his money on the road and he comes back searching for it after 10-15 minutes, still it is there. And no one, so many people walked on the way, same road, but they did not see, because we can see that Lord protected, that belongs to Him only. It comes. And other people who store very nicely in the home, that robbers will come steal it away. So they protected, they tried all their means, but thieves came and took it away. Similarly, an unsheltered person lives in the forest by the mercy of the Lord. A person protected in his house, disregarded by the Lord, does not live. So one may think that one who is living in the home is protected. One is in the forest, shelterless is not protected. But shelterless can be protected, and one who is living in the home, the whole home can fall down and he will die. So home is not the protection. It is the Lord is the protection. That is the point. The Lord's power is illustrated by positive and negative examples. Dishta Rakshitam means protected by the Lord. What is neglected by the Lord is destroyed, and what is glanced upon by the Lord is protected. A person overlooked by the Lord is destroyed by others. So, like that. It does not matter whether one is in the forest or in the home. If Lord's glance is there upon that person, even though he is in forest, he can be saved. And when Lord's glance is not there on that person, even though one may be in a safe house, suddenly death can come. Heart attack, or the building can collapse, or anything can happen. Or some thieves can come, they rob and stab him and go away. He will be killed. So like that. Our external protection is not the real protection. The real protection is Lord's glance. So in that way, it's telling. Then he further continues. Bhutani tester nijayoni karmabir.
Bhutani nijayoni karmabir.
Bhavanti kalena bhavanti sarvashah.
Bhavanti kalena bhavanti sarveshah.
न तत्र आत्मा प्रकृताौ अपि स्थितास्.
न तत्र आत्मा प्रकृतेव अपि स्थितास्.
तस्य गुणैरन्यतमो हि बध्यते.
गुणैरन्यतमो हि बध्यते.
I will read.
Hare Krishna.
The bodies of all beings appear and disappear by their karmas, caused by themselves. So whatever karmas we have performed, that karmas only result in our birth, our lifespan, and our death. Everything is happening by our own karma. The Paramatma, different, though situated in the body, is not bound by the qualities of the body. The Jivatma goes through one's karma and goes through birth, growth, old age, disease, and death. But though Paramatma is also living in the core of the heart along with Jivatma, but Paramatma does not go through any such stages because Paramatma does not identify with the body. Jivatma identifies with the body, that is the problem. But then there is inequality in the Lord because he favors one and ignores others. So when one said that the person in the forest is saved and person in the home is killed, that is inequality. So why Lord is saving that person? Because there is some favoritism. Lord considers that person to be friend, this person to be enemy. That's why he is doing. Then in this current verse, the inequality of the Lord as Paramatma is being indicated. The bodies of men and animals appear by individual karmas, causing their specific bodies. By one karma producing birth, a person becomes a pig. All bodies appear and disappear in time. This is clear. Though situated in a body, the Paramatma being different is not bound by the qualities of the body, such as birth and death. The understanding is that, so don't think that because Lord is glancing upon the person in the forest, he was saved. Because Lord is not glancing on this person, he was killed. Yeah, apparently that is there. But under Lord's supervision, it is karma which is causing what is supposed to happen to a person. Everything is due to individual karma, not because just because of Lord's glance. Lord's glance also follows after the karma. It is because of karma one is supposed to live, supposed to die. All these things are taken place. Paramatma makes the jiva experience the results of his good or bad karmas by his presence alone. That is his favoring or ignoring. So Paramatma being there and Paramatma makes sure that one's previous karma should come to that person without missing. And that is all happening under his supervision only. So like that. And then he further continues. Yamaraja, the small boy, further continues. Idam shariram purushasya mohajam.
idam shariram purushasya mohajam
yata prutak bhautikam griham.
yatha prithak bhautikam yatya graham
यतौदकै प्रार्थिवतैजसेर्जना
यथोदिकः पृथिवेत चेसरवनः जनः
कालेन जातो विकृतो विनश्यति.
कालेन जतो विकृतो विनश्यति.
Then Yamaraja says, the body is produced from the bewilderment of the jiva. Body is produced from bewilderment of jiva. That means in the previous life, jiva developed a desire. Jiva was looking all around and looking at something. He developed a particular desire. I want to have that. I want to have that. In order to fulfill that desire, one gets a new body in the next life. So in that way, our body is produced based on our previous desires. Paramatma is different from the body, just as a person living in a house is different from the house. The material body made up of water, earth, and fire is born, matures, and dies in time. Whatever body that we possess, it is nothing but the result of our desire. So, in our previous life, we have thought about something. In order to fulfill that, in order to get that, in this life, we have got a body. But though Paramatma is residing in the heart, Paramatma never desires and Paramatma does not cause the rebirth of the living entity. It is only Jivatma causes the rebirth of the living entity because of one's desire. This verse explained the Lord's being indifferent. The body is produced out of bewilderment of the Jiva. It is different from the Paramatma situated within it. Just a house with walls and doors is different from the person living in the house. So there is a home, we are also living in that. We possess the home, but we are different from the home. Similarly, Paramatma is there in the heart of the body, but Paramatma never identify with the person, never identify with the body. Paramatma remains indifferent to the body, bodily activities. The difference is further explained. Just as foam made of water particles, a pot made of clay, and earrings made from the fire are produced and then destroyed, the body produced from atoms of water, earth, and fire is born, develops, and then is destroyed. However, this is not so for the Atma. So the material body gets birth and destroyed. Just like foam is made up of water particles and eventually the foam mixes with the water. A pot is made up of clay and eventually when the pot is broken, it mixes with the clay. An earring is made up from fire. So when you take gold ore and put it into the fire, it transforms into earring. And when you apply the same earring to the fire, it loses its shape. It becomes gold ore. So like that. So in that way, what happens to the body? The body goes through changes, Paramatma remains same. That is indicated. So then another example he gives. Yata nalo darishu binnayate.
यथा नलो दारु यथा नलो दारुषु भिन्न ईयते
यथा नीलो देहगत पृथक् स्थितः
यथा नीलो देहगतः पृथक् स्थितः
यथा नभः सर्वगतं ससज्जते
यथा नभः सर्वगतं न सज्जते
तथा पुमान् सर्वगुणाश्रया परः
तथा पुमान् सर्वगुणाश्रयः परः.
Just as fire is perceived to be different from wood and air within the body is different from the body, so Atma situated in the body is different from it. Here two examples is giving. Fire is there in the wood, but when fire comes out of the wood, we say that wood is different and fire is different. Similarly, we breathe the air. The air goes in the body and comes out. Just because where goes it going in the inside the body and coming out, we cannot say that the body and air both are same. Similarly, Atma, though situated in the body, Atma and Paramatma, but they are different from the body. They are not same as the body. That is the understanding. Just as ether, all pervading, does not mix with anything, the Atma, the shelter of the body and senses, is different from the body. Just like ether, though spread everywhere, does not mix with anything. Similarly, the Atma, which is the shelter of the body and senses, does not mix with the body. It remains indifferent to the body. It can identify with the body, but it does not become the body. Atma means Atma only. Atma remains Atma only. The example of being situated in the same place but being different, like a person living in the home but one does not become the home. Similarly, Paramatma is living in the heart, but Paramatma does not claim that I am the body. That is explained. Fire, though situated in wood, is perceived as different from wood because of its power to illuminate and burn. Air, though within the body, is perceived to exist separately in the nostrils. So before we could breathe, there is also air inside our body in terms of breathing. So some air is already there, some air we are getting in and it comes out. So in that way. Atma, though situated in the body, does not take on the qualities of the body, just as ether does not mix with others. The jiva, though the shelter of body and senses, are though the jiva, though the shelter of the body and senses, or though it takes shelter of them, remain separate. Either jiva is the shelter of the gross body subtle body, or jiva is taking shelter of the gross body subtle body. In either case, jiva is jiva, subtle body, gross body is the gross body. Technically speaking, they are indifferent, but sometimes because of their attachment, they become attracted to each other. Why do you not become detached from this body of your husband, who died by his karma and was ignored by the Lord? Just like similarly, a person in the home is died because of one's karma. Same way, your husband also died because of his karma. Why don't you allow him his body to be burnt? Why are you holding it back? So like that. So till now everything is okay. Able to follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Few verses are a little
Yes.
technical. Then later on there will be a story. It will be normal only. But these verses are like very. Yamaraja is not an ordinary person. So when he speaks, the words also cannot be ordinary. So in that way. So then he will continue. Suyajño nanu ayam sete.
Tuyodnyo nanvayam shete.
Modayam manusochate.
Mudhayam anushochata.
Ye shrotayo nu vakteta vakteha.
यः श्रोतायो अनुवक्तेत्
ताना दृश्यते दृश्येत कर ही चेत.
तान दृश्येत कर्हि चेत्.
O fools, the person named Suyajna, from whom you lament, is still lying before you. He who spoke and heard was not visible at time. So now the Yamaraj is saying that, oh my dear ladies, the one with whom you are speaking is lying in front of you only. This king defeated in battle now sleeps. How can we ignore him and not show affection? So when in the previous verse when Yamaraj said that, why are you so attached to him? Atma is eternal, body is temporary, body is going through dying. He, out of his karma, he died. Allow him to be burnt to ashes. Then the lady said that, how can we do that? He is very much affectionate to us. We cannot give him. But he is still, body still here. The person with whom you are affectionate all this while is here only lying there. And the lady said that, Up until now, he would hear and respond to our lamentation. So till now, he was listening to us and he was reciprocating with us accordingly. Then the boy said, even before this time, he could not be seen. What you saw before the body, you can also see now. See, the body which we are seeing till now is also you are seeing now. And you are telling that that person was speaking to me. The one who spoke, you did not see him yesterday and you did not see him now also. You cannot see him now also. So indirectly it's telling that there is gross body, there is inside subtle body and the soul. So till now you have been affectionate to him and he was affectionate to all of you. And you are thinking that he was doing all care and all. How can we allow him to be burnt? The reason is the one with whom you spoke, you never saw him. And that which you used to see always till now, you are seeing now also. And you say that this is not speaking. Because the one who spoke, he already gone. He has nothing to do with his dead body. So in that way it is, he is telling. Na shrota nanu vaktayam
न श्रोता न युवक्तायम्
muktyopi yatra mahanasu
मुख्योऽपि यत्र महान् असुः
yas ihendriyavan atma sa
यस्ते इन्द्रियवान् आत्मा स
sachanya pranadehayo.
सा चान्यः प्राणदेहयो.
The main life air, Mahan Asu, Mahatattva, is also not the hearer or speaker. The Atma who possesses the senses, who is different from the life air and body, is the hearer and speaker. So they would say that no, he was breathing till now. As long as the life air was present, he could hear and speak with us. When the life air left, he could not do so. Therefore, the life air is the hearer and speaker. So somebody may say like that. Then the boy, the Yamara said that no. Life air is not the hearer and speaker. The Atma who possesses the body and senses, which is different from the life air and the body, is the hearer and speaker. The Atma which is eternal is the actual hearer, not the neither the body nor the life airs. That is not so. Though the life air is important, Shruti says prano vai mukhyaha. The prana is the chief. Even the main life air, the cause of activities of the senses, is not the hearer or speaker because it is unconscious. Sutratma or Mukhya Prana is a deity embodying all the jivas in the subtle state of Mahatattva. Before Ankara becomes manifest, it manifested. Who is the hearer and speaker? He who possesses the senses, the jiva, different from the life air, body and senses, is the hearer and speaker because he is the conscious. So here a word is used Sutratma or Suttattva, something like Mahatattva only. Bhagavatam says that it is actually the Mukhya Prana. So we always breathe, but among the breath there are so many airs. But that air which sustains us, that is called Mukhya Prana. Among all the air that we breathe in, the Mukhya Prana is that which sustains us. In technical language, we can say Mukhya Prana means oxygen. Oxygen is called Mukhya Prana, which actually sustains us. All other winds, they enter into the body and come out like that. So he says that neither the body, the person who is speaking with you, nor the life airs are the person who is speaking with you. The one who is speaking with you is the Atma. So like that. Who is different from the gross body, subtle body, senses, and all these things. Because who is the hearer and speaker? Then who is the hearer and speaker? He who possesses the senses, the jiva, different from the life air, body, and senses, is the hearer and speaker because he is conscious. The conscious entity is the final speaker. not the unconscious prana, not the unconscious body. So like that, he is establishing slowly who is the speaker. Bhutendriya manolingan
Bhutendriya manolingan
dehan uchavachan viduhu
dehan uchavachan vibhu
bhajati usrujati hi anyas
bhajati utsrujati hi anya
tachapi svena tejasa.
tacchapi svena tejasa.
Jiva accepts and gives up the gross bodies, which also have a subtle body composed of mind and senses. In some cases, he gives up the subtle body by knowledge. In a conditioned state, we keep changing the gross bodies. But when one attains knowledge, when one gets liberated, one gives up the subtle body. Only at liberation, one gives up the subtle body. Till then, one only gives up the gross bodies time to time. The king has gone somewhere. What is he doing? He accepts and gives up gross bodies in which he attains a subtle body composed of senses and mind, just as he has accepted and given up the present body. So, here our Yamaraj was saying that he has gone. The Atma who was speaking, whom you never saw, he has gone away now. The question is where he has gone? He has gone to take up a new gross body. Because the subtle body keeps changing the gross bodies. So he has gone to take up a new gross body. However, by the strength of knowledge gained by good fortune, he sometimes gives up the subtle body as well. Normally, in the conditioned state, a dead person gives up the gross body and attains new gross body. But sometimes, when a person is really in knowledge, when a person loses his gross body, at the same time, he will also give up his subtle body and attain liberation. But that is rarely. What is happening here is regular. So in that way. Next, Yamaraj further continues. Yavallinganvito hi atma
यावल्लिङ्गात्वनो यावल्लिङ्गात्वनो य आत्मा
tavat karmani bandhana
यावत् कर्म निबन्धनम्
tato viparyaya klesho
ततो विप्रयः क्लेशो
maya yogo nuvartate.
माया योगो अनुवर्तते.
As long as the jiva keeps the subtle body, he continues in the bondage of karma. From bondage arises false identity. From that arises misery. From that and contact with Maya, birth and death. So like that. Only when the jiva gives up the subtle body does one becomes liberated. As long as the subtle body is there, we have to continue the repeated cycle of birth and death, in which there is bondage, there is a different identity, there is misery, happiness, and there is death. So in that way, everything is because of we keep the subtle body. Only at the time of liberation we give up the subtle body. When one gives up the subtle body, one will go back to Godhead. Till then, one has to continue the cycle of repeated cycle of birth and death. In that way. So, what do you mean by continuing repeated cycle of birth and death? Then he gives a nice example here. This similar kind of example was also given by 6th canto. Chitraketu Maharaj had a son, Harshashoka. When he died, when he got up, that time the small child also says same thing. Because this is very easy, children can relate to it. That's why he speaks it. Vitataabhiniveshoyam Vitataabhiniveshoyam
वितथाभिनिवेशोऽयं
Yadguneshu Ardhadrugvacha
यद्गुणेष्वर्थदृग्वचः
yato manoratah swapna
yatha manoratah swapna
sarvam aindriyakam mrusha.
sarvam aindriyakam vrisha.
Here he says that seeing and speaking about the effects of the gunas as a permanent things are a useless misconception. It is like the objects of daydreams or dreams during sleep. All things perceived by the senses are illusory. He says that the birth and death, a person takes birth and stays for some time and eventually becomes old and dies. So talking too much about all these things is all illusion, because they are all nothing but the transformation of the three gunas. What needs to be talked about is about the permanent one, that is Atma. So like that is telling. Therefore, we should strive for liberation from the bondage of karma. We should not strive for the results of karma such as swarga, since material happiness and distress are flickering like a dream. This identity is useless. So basically, since our body is temporary, if we continue to talk about our body, that is simply a waste of time. Since Atma is eternal, talk about Atma. That is somewhat useful, like that. Seeing and speaking about the effects of the gunas, such as happiness, birth, death, old age, disease, as permanent things, is useless. Or getting too much affected by such things, also useless. So, what is permanent? Talk about that. When we talk about permanent things, we can come back to Godhead. That is the advantage of speaking about the permanent things. So somebody may say that no, when one goes to Swarga, one will say like this: we drank Soma and became immortal and enjoyed with Apsaras. This identity is similar to daydreaming about deriving bliss from sons or wealth, or dreaming about enjoying women or attaining Swarga. This universe pursued by the senses is false. He says that, or somebody may say that, no, why are you saying all this optimistically? So we can perform the pious activities, and we can go to Swarga and enjoy. Then the boy says that, my dear son, how long you will stay there? Will you stay there eternally? No, I'll come back. So that means when you come back, you will become as you are in the old time. Yes, that means going to Swarga and enjoying the Somarasa and woman is all like a dream. Whether it could be daydreaming or night dream. If you actually go and come back, that is daydream. If you are only having a dream, that is night dream. But whether it is daydream or night dream, it is dream only. It is not eternal reality. When it is not eternal reality, there is no need to talk about that. So like that is telling. Therefore, then what should we do? So if we should not talk about the body, dead body, all these things and all, birth and death and all, then what we should talk? Atanityam anityam va
अथ नित्यमनित्यं वा
neha sochati yadvidaha
नेह शोचन्ति तद्विधा
nanyata shakyate kartum
नान्यथा शक्यते कर्तुं
स्वभावा सोचतामिति.
स्वभावासोचितम् इति.
So here, so what we are supposed to do? It tells. Some say the world is permanent. People come up with so many philosophies, but one should not be bewildered by all these things. Some say that the world is permanent. Some say it is transient, but they do not lament. The nature of those who lament is to say, I cannot do anything else except lament. Even though the philosophers who say that the world is permanent and who say that the world is temporary, still they may speak all these philosophies, but they don't lament like this. But those who lament, they can't do anything. They simply lament, simply passing time. Mimamsa case say that the world is permanent. The Karma Mimamsaka, they say that world is permanent. The Sankhya say that the world is temporary but real. Then we cannot understand the world at all. It is not possible to do anything. That is the nature of those who lament. So somebody say that no, there is no conclusion about the world. Some people say like this, some people say that what we can do, we only have to cry. Ah, yes, you only cry. Those people, at least they are saying something. When they say permanent, they work for the permanent. Some say it is transient, they work to attain the permanent. They do something about it. But those who don't want to do anything, they keep lamenting, they keep crying only. So now the question is lamenting is right or wrong? Whether it is right or wrong, I will tell you with a story. I will tell a story now. In that story, there is a nice story. I'll quickly summarize the story. Once a hunter, appointed as the killer of the birds by the Lord, spread his net, lured birds with food, and captured them. A hunter, by birth, he has become hunter. So his activity is to catch the birds. That story is the coming now. Though lamentation may be one's nature, it creates problems. Emeraj tells a story. So, though one may think that I cannot do anything, so let me lament. Even lamentation also creates problems. So, what kind of problems? With the help of a storytelling. There was a hunter, he only knew how to catch the birds. So, at one time, while wandering in the forest, the hunter saw a pair of kulinga birds. Of the two, the female was lured by the hunter. The two birds standing on the tree, he has put some dana. The female bird came down to eat the dana. It caught in the net. The male bird is still on the branch only. O queens of Suyagna, the female was caught in the ropes of the net. The male Kulinga bird, seeing his wife captured, became very unhappy. Due to affection, the poor bird, being unable to release her, began to lament for his wife. The male bird was trying to release the big female bird. It is trying different things, but it could not do anything. They were lamenting. Alas, how merciful is the Lord, how merciless is the Lord. Why afflict my poor wife, who was kind to me, and is lamenting for a wretch like me? So he was telling, the male bird is saying that why Lord made this my wife captured. She was very careful to me. She was very caring to me. Next verse he will say that the female bird was taking care of my children very nicely. Let the Lord take me also. What is the use of this miserable half of my body? Even if it lives a long time, since it will only experience suffering. In the absence of my wife, I can't live happily. I will only experience pain. Let the Lord take me also. How will I maintain the baby? How will I maintain the baby birds without wings in the absence of their mother? I am unfortunate. They are waiting for their mother in the nest. The baby birds are waiting for the mother to come and give the food. The hiding hunter, inspired by time, pierced with his arrow that lamenting bird, grieved by separation from his wife, with tears in its eyes. When the male bird was thinking like this, the hunter shoot arrow behind and kill this bird also. Gone. The female bird gaya, male bird bhi gaya. At least the male bird immediately could have gone back and took care of his children. But he was lamenting here. In the meantime, the hunter shoot it. Similarly, oh ignorant men, women, simply lamenting for your husband for 100 years while not seeing your own death, you will not regain him. He is gone. By simply, if you continue to lament for him, the time will kill you also. Your 100 years also will come now very soon. Instead, go home and do the needful, take care of your children and do the other things. So you also want to die like that other bird, that is of no use for yourself or for anybody else. So better do something which is useful. So this was the entire story spoken by uh, the Yamaraja as a small boy. So having told all the story, Yamaraj concluding the entire section saying that While Yamaraja, in the form of a small boy, was speaking, all the relatives, struck with wonder, began to consider that the world is temporary and that it will disappear just as it arose. Then everyone understood that the Yamaraja story as a small boy struck to their hearts. So what can be done? So today our husband died, tomorrow will die. This world is not permanent. We cannot stay here for always. They thought this world is temporary because just as it has arisen somehow, it will not remain always. After instructing the foolish relatives of Suyagna, Yamaraja disappeared. Then the relatives of the king Suyagna performed the funeral rites. Then the ladies allowed for the final rites to be performed. So, therefore, none of you should be aggrieved by your or anyone's body. By identifying the self and others, which arises only from ignorance, the living entity is thinking, who am I? Who is he? What is mine? What is his? So, only by ignorance, we identify with our body. So as a result of that, we say that I am so and so, he is my friend, and this house is mine, and that house belongs to them. That such kind of statements will come. By identifying the self and others, which is only because of ignorance, the living entity thinks, I am this, I am that, he is this, he is that. Like that, Imaraja. No. Now, like that, Hiranyakashipu also gave his concluding remarks. It is only in ignorance we are thinking that, my dear mother, you are thinking that Hiranyaksa and Hiranyakashipu are your sons. Rishabhanu thinking Hiranyaksha to be her husband. All the nephews are thinking Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha. All the nephews nephews of Hiranyakashipu were thinking that Hiranyaksha is their father. This is all by ignorance. Like that, he spoke the entire story. And they were also pacified. That they being pacified is mentioned by Narada Muni. Iti Daityapatervakyam Ditir Akarnya Tasnusha Putrashokam Kshanat Tyaktva Tatve Chittam Adarayat. Narada Muni is saying that Diti, hearing the instructions of Hiranyakashipu along with her daughter-in-law Rishabhanu, Hiranyaksha's wife, immediately gave up her grief over her son's death and thus engaged her mind in understanding the truth. So, like hearing all these things, especially from her son and especially Yamaraj, who are like a small boy, understanding the real truth, Diti, Rishabhanu, they gave up their lamentation. They became composed. It's like that. Though the philosophy is perfect, somewhat Diti and Rishabhanu were composed, but in spite of speaking all these things, how did Hiranyakashipu respond? In the next chapters, we get to see. That we will continue next week. So, okay, is it clear? Did I confuse anywhere?
No, it is clear.
Okay. So I'm extremely sorry that all the festival day, all of you have to come for the class. Thank you very much for joining. So today is Vijayadashmi. Wish you all a very happy and prosperous Vijayadashmi. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Happy
Prabhuji.
Vijayadashmi, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
Dussehra.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.